pass it. Just give them, you can just pass it.
Do I talk or?
You do only once Ash Wednesday,
Yeah.
here it is every day. Okay. So you fill the form. Okay, let me check your nocturnal breathing. Today is 14. Okay, Tony, the nostril.
Left.
Asima,
Right.
Ted,
Right.
Michael,
Left.
Christina,
Left.
Jessica,
Right.
Ilona,
Right. Left.
Diane,
Right.
Dale,
Left.
Jill,
Left.
Philip,
Right.
Faith,
Right.
Kimberly,
Right.
Duane,
Right.
Greg,
Right.
Cheryl,
Left, I think,
Which
I
show?
think, yeah.
See, Chef.
okay, Cheryl, okay, Flashman,
Left.
Cheryl, Dayal,
Shell, which nostril? Your nostril. Me? Yes. Right or left? Right.
Okay. Barbara,
Right.
anybody who's left out? Nobody. Okay. ॐ भद्रं कर्णे विष्णुयामदेवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षुर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैतुष्ट्वां स्वस्तनूभिः यशेमदेवयतं यदायुः ॐ स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवः स्वस्ति न पूषा विश्ववेदः स्वस्ति नस्तारक्षो वरिष्ठनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिः
3 pranayam.
Anulom Vilom. Exhale through the left, inhale through the left, exhale through the right, inhale through the right. Like that. Do it 3 times. Now, 3 times Om chanting. Take a deep breath. Om Suryo me chakshushrita chakshushrita hridayamai aham brahmani. Om Chandrama me manashishrita manuhridaya hridayamai aham brahmani. Om Disho me shrotre shrita shrotamridaya hridayamai Amrutam Brahmani. Om Apo me Om Disho me Shrotre Shrita Shrotram Hridaya Hridayamai Amrutam Brahmani. Om ओम आपो मेरे तशीश्रुता ऋतु हृदये हृदयमयी अहं हृदयमृतं ब्रह्मणि ओम पृथ्वी में शरीर सदा शरीरं हृदये हृदयमयी अहं हृदयमृतं ब्रह्मणि ओम आत्मा आत्मनिश्चिता आत्मा हृदये हृदयमयी अहं हृदयमृतं ब्रह्मणि अनन्तमतस्य गोपाः Panivinivana Vishnugavan Desavanidavana Shurya Vishanava Chattvasima Tushbala Duji Sapta Sasas Trada Vadu Vijay Madhumati. Om Tat Saviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimari Dhiyo Yona Prachodaya Om Agnir Jyoti Jyotir Agni Agne Jyotishe Swaha. तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् स्वाहा। ॐ तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् स्वाहा। ॐ तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् स्वाहा। ॐ तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् स्वाहा। ॐ तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् स्वाहा। ॐ तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् स्वाहा। ॐ तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् स्वाहा। ॐ तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् स्वाहा। ॐ तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् स्वाहा। ॐ तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् स्वाहा। ॐ तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् स्वाहा। ॐ सत्यव्याधमदाय सत्यव्याधाय नमो नमः भगवते नारायणाय बुद्धाय नमः वामदेवाय नमः बुद्धाय नमः कालाय नमः गुरुवाय गुरुवाय मघाय नमः सोलुनाय नमः अघोरे भूत घोरे घोर घोर करे सर्वे सर्वे नमस्ते रुद्रभ्य तद्पुरुषाय विद्महे महादेवाय धीमहि तन्नो प्रचोदयात्। ईशान सर्वविद्यानां ईश्वर सर्वभूतानां ब्रह्माण्डं शाश्वतम्। ॐ त्र्यम्बकं यजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमिव बन्धनान् मृत्योर्मुक्षीयमामृतात् स्वाहा। ॐ त्र्यम्बकं यजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमिव बन्धनान् मृत्योर्मुक्षीयमामृतात् स्वाहा। ॐ त्र्यम्बकं यजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमिव बन्धनान् मृत्योर्मुक्षीयमामृतात् स्वाहा। ॐ त्र्यम्बकं यजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमिव बन्धनान् मृत्योर्मुक्षीयमामृतात् स्वाहा। ॐ त्र्यम्बकं यजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमिव बन्धनान् मृत्योर्मुक्षीयमामृतात् स्वाहा। ॐ त्र्यम्बकं यजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमिव बन्धनान् मृत्योर्मुक्षीयमामृतात् स्वाहा। ॐ त्र्यम्बकं यजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमिव बन्धनान् मृत्योर्मुक्षीयमामृतात् स्वाहा। ॐ त्र्यम्बकं यजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमिव बन्धनान् मृत्योर्मुक्षीयमामृतात् स्वाहा। ॐ त्र्यम्बकं यजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमिव मृत्योर्मुक्षीयममृता स्वाहा ॐ त्र्यम्बकं यजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमिव बन्धनान् मृत्योर्मुक्षीयममृता स्वाहा।
It's okay. Thanks a lot. Stretch it a bit.
कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय हरे परमात्मने प्रणतक्लेशनाशाय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। 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 कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय हरे परमात्मने प्रणतक्लेशनाशाय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः।
Give us another.
हरे परमात्मने प्रणतक्लेशनाशाय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय 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 हरे परमात्मने प्रणतक्लेशनाशाय गोविन्दाय नमो Hare Paramatmane Pranatkleshanaşaya Govindaya Namo Krishnaya Vasudevaya 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 Hare Paramatmane Pranatkleshanaşaya Govindaya
Wait to see when I'm finished.
Now I can see your faces. Agnihotra is the old Indian tradition, and it is simply a remembrance of sun. When sun is not there, fire is the representative of the sun, and sun is responsible for our life. If sun is not there, we will not be there. And sun is responsible for your oxygen. If sun will not shine, you cannot have a photosynthesis, and therefore you cannot have air, oxygen to breathe. And therefore, in all the traditions, sun was always respected. The beauty of sun is depicted by Gayatri Mantra, and Gayatri Mantra is the paramount mantra in the Vedic literature. And for that purpose, you have to understand that there are different levels. One, Bhu, earth, Bhuva in the middle, and Swa, upper part. There are three, Bhu, Bhuva, Swa. In the body also, Bhu, Bhuva, Swa. And also very close to Brahma, Vishnu and Mahesh. And these things are clear from the point of view that we meditate on the sun, who will inspire our thoughts. There is nothing in it personal. And the main part is we meditate. Though the person is I, individual, but the prayer is we. So always there is a feeling for all people. Samasti, society, not individual. In the light of the society, for the sake of everybody, you meditate. And that is a very, very important point. Because in all the civilization where they work for others, it is not only I, we as a whole. And therefore, if you want to remember this factor, remember the word wise. Wise. W-I-S-E. That means we in the present. The word is in the heart of the word wise. You will be surprised that Om is presented in the dictionary 1052 times in the words. If you take the dictionary and you find it out the words, and in those words you will be surprised, like for example, omnipresent, omniscient, home, come, all these have Om inside. It is too taxing to you? And is the word which indicates presence. Is. You are in the present. You are not in the future, you are not in the past. And if you are like that, then you are wise. And that's why this word in English is pretty interesting. W and E. On one side west and the other side east. On one side V, W and E. And then is. If you are in the present, you feel fantastic. It is sometimes people, when they are in the future, they are afraid. They are in the past, they may be angry. Because you cannot be angry of the past. You can be angry of the past but not be afraid of the past. Past is gone, but you are afraid of the future. So therefore, if you want to be in the present, then you have to be in the present. And then you will be wise. Otherwise, you are not wise. Otherwise. And that's a very important part of it. That most of the time we spend our time either in the past or in the future, not in the present. When you spend time in the present, your work will be very fast. Look at it. And that's why the main purpose of meditation is the focus. And focus purpose is there that you can be in the present. You cannot focus if you are not in the present. And therefore, once you learn the meditation, then it transfers on anything. Look at it. Try this way. Whatever work you do your work. Now add like a 10 minutes a day meditation in it. Do your work again and see the output, whether the output is achieved in a shorter period or not. And it is a very important from that point of view also of work. Some people take a long time to do the same thing. Some people take very short time to do the same thing. Why? Because they are focused. And once they are focused, things are achieved in a shorter period. And when they are focused, then it can be transferred on anything you do. That's why meditation is such a tool that it can provide you, whatever field you are working, efficiency. And that's very, very important part. And it has nothing to do with any religion. I generally make you aware of it, certain things. As I was talking before in my class, you go to the university to attend some classes on chemistry or physics or mathematics or economics or anything. When you go to the university, what do? You apply for it, right? And then they will ask you or invite you, and then they will examine you before they will take you in the course, isn't it? If you qualify it, then you are taken in. If you don't qualify it, you are not taken. It's clear? Now, come to the field of yoga. It is the field of consciousness. Other place I talk to you about chemistry, physics, economics, all those things, and they will never ask you what religion you are, what color you have, what race you come from, what country you come from. If you qualify it and if you can pay the fee, then you are selected, right? Qualification is necessary, fee is secondary, but the main part is they cannot ask you about anything else. Same thing in this field. It is the field of consciousness. If you can qualify it, you are admitted. If you don't qualify it, you can never be in. And what is the qualification? Because in the field of consciousness, there are some qualifications. If you qualify, then you are admitted. Otherwise, you are not admitted. And that part is again the same thing. How is your consciousness? Have you seen the people do like this? This mudra is very well known mudra. What the name of mudra is? Jnana mudra. The gesture of knowledge. Okay? And you do do this way, that is also a mudra. One is this and one is this. So they call it Gyana Mudra and they call it this Chin Mudra. Okay? One towards the sky, another towards the land. Sky land. These two mudras, one up like this. And what is the purpose on these mudras? See this, one finger attaches this thumb. And three fingers are out. These are known as three gunas. And this finger, united with God. So this is a union. This finger, index finger to the thumb. Only this much to contemplate on and remember it and spend your time on it, you will get some insight. This mudra, if you maintain it 15-20 minutes every day, you will be surprised about your memory, about your emotional condition, depression and anxiety and all those things. You can look at it those and experiment it and let us know how does it work. So these are simple part. And mudra, the word mudra comes out, that which gives you joy. What gives you joy? Once you have a moment of aha, then it gives you joy. You do this, but if you really understand it, then it will give you joy. When you see like this, people do like this, it is in common with Hindus and the Christian also, right? That's why I always tell, if you really want to understand Jesus, study Sanatana Dharma, eternal duties, eternal dharma, which is loosely describes Hinduism, but is not Hinduism. It is from the ancient time it is coming up. And same principles are embedded in Christianity. Therefore, there is no difference in it. As a man thinketh, so is he. Have you heard that word? We are children of God. Same principle. As you think, so you will be. So, thought, words and action, if all three will be synchronized, you are in a good shape. If thoughts are different, your words are different, your actions are different, you will have a conflict. Have you seen the children are so fantastic? Their thought, their speech, their action practically same. Whatever way they think, they talk about it, whatever they think, they act on it. And that's why when Jesus says, you cannot go to heaven without being a child, right? I may not be putting the same type of code, but the meaning is very clear. You have to be a child to enter into the kingdom of heaven. And have you seen people, those who are childlike, you love them, but you don't want to be childlike because you are adult. I say adulterated. Adult. When you are childlike, you have a fantastic energy and you have a fantastic focus and you feel very comfortable. But when you interfere with the thought, speech and action, then things change. Your thoughts are different. That's your intent is different. If you go to any place with difference, whatever may be your intent, that will influence your perception. Whenever you perceive anything, your intention plays a very important role. If your intention is there to help somebody, your perception will be different. If your intention is there to harm somebody, your intention will be different. Your perception will be different. So intention plays a very, very important role. And that's why they always ask in yogic literature, Kimartham kriyate kriya? For what purpose you are doing this whole thing? Why you are in yoga? What is the purpose behind it? Why you want to do this? Okay? So that you have to understand it, and how you can understand? If you give yourself some time. And that time is, they call it word meditation. But you cannot easily do meditation, because whenever you close your eyes, everything you don't want to do, it comes up. Right? Whenever you close it. Okay, who did me this? And what happened? And I'm angry with this and all this. That's what happens. Why? So, they designed a system. And the system is known as Ashtanga Yoga. The students or teachers, those who wanted to really understand these two systems, they have to understand Ashtanga Yoga and Kriya Yoga. These two systems. They are practically part, Kriya Yoga is part of the Ashtanga Yoga. There is no problem with that. Ashtanga Yoga is such a system. Patanjali put together his intelligence in such a way, scrutinizing, I believe, all the possible literature and understanding and all the societies, and he came out, this is the best thing to change your consciousness. Because this is the field of consciousness. It is the field in the same way you wanted to get PhD in chemistry or physics, you have to work for that. Same thing, if you want to change your consciousness, you have to work for that. So you say, alright, I'll give you some guidelines and try those guidelines, see whether your consciousness changes. He gave a system, and this system is so scientific, and he gave a challenge to people, practice and then let me know what happens. Niyamas. Lot of times we say, that's fine, you know. Ahimsa. But to follow ahimsa requires lot of things. Not to hurt anybody on the level of thought, level of speech and level of action. Some people can be very good to start on level of action. You cannot hurt someone. But you see, the mind is so clever. What they do, they will not hurt themselves, but they ask somebody to hurt for them. Okay? They will not hurt, but they will hire somebody to hurt. Not only that, they can also do, somebody is already hurt, they will say, oh, you deserve it. That's also a part of Hinsa. That means Hinsa is our natural condition. It is our instinct to hurt for survival. And that is, if you want to be mature and evolve, then definitely you have to learn not to hurt. And this was very clear. That's why Buddha chose this. Ahimsa paramo dharma. Ahimsa is the supreme dharma. That is the supreme duty, not to hurt. Once you have that, then you will be very different. And as you practice more, you will be more and more aware of it. But there are many ways we can hurt people. Many, many ways. By thought, by speech, by action. By anger, by our desires, by our greed, by our attachment. It can be very intense or mild or little bit. So he said, practice. When Jesus came to the picture, he changes the word ahimsa into love. But people did not understand it. Love is not a noun, only it is a verb. You understand the meaning? Verb represents action. Love has to show action, not just a condition. God is love, love is God. Two different things. One is a noun condition, another is a process condition, verb condition. And when you do that, you will feel fantastic. But a lot of times people don't understand it. Something you do without expectation of anything is one thing. When you do something with expectation is another thing. You will always be content if you do things without expectation of people. You can have a lot of questions inside an argument, and I understand it because I am going through that. But one thing I assure you, when you really practice it, experience is very different. You care without expectation. No matter what people do to you. Do you have enough guts to do that? Then you are in a different level of understanding, a different type of consciousness. Same thing with Satya. Satya is also our real instinct. Killing is real. Satya is also real. So Patanjali says, killing, no, it will not take you further. Satya, yes, it will take you further. So it is not like a only don't. He says, don't and then do. Satya. Truthfulness. Honest. If you don't lie, you have not to think twice. Right? You are same inside, outside. Have you seen children? They speak the truth. And parents condition them to lie. And when somebody comes to collect the bills on the house, and mother says, I'm not here, tell the guy. So he goes outside and says, listen, my mom said she is not here. Now you can understand that truth is truth. And truth is so powerful. If you maintain it, you can understand what Jesus did with Lazarus. He did not see him dead. So he called him, Lazarus, come out. Dead body became alive. It looks like extreme, but you have no idea. When you are really honest and truthful, your words will have a tremendous impact. Check those people. Check the life histories of the great people, those who maintain that. Then, aster. You don't want anybody's things. Whatever belongs to other people, you don't take them. Then, you will have everything. Have you ever seen that when you don't want to eat outside, people invite you?
I have to cook rice.
She has to cook rice.
Oh, you can go ahead. You go ahead. You go ahead. You go ahead. No, go. Go. Yeah, you go. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, so that's a very important fact. Then comes brahmacharya. Brahmacharya is a very controversial word in yogic literature because the meaning was not properly understood. To understand the great picture, you have to live a life, and that life is known as brahmacharya. That's why I say, Brahma sthiti sampadhanartham yad acharanam tad brahmacharyam. To understand the great concept, whatever type of life you have it, that's known as a brahmacharya. And in that, lot of things comes out. Chastity, celibacy, continency, something like that. Now, what will happen if you do that? You have tremendous strength. And Patanjali indicates each time, if you do this, this will happen. If you do this, this will happen. If you do this, this will happen. Then aparigraha. If you do not accumulate, sharing, if you share, your memory will be fantastic. It's not interesting? Look at those places where people share, their memory is fantastic. Look at those places where people don't share, there are a lot of Alzheimer. Look at it. It is a very simple law. If you have a lot of things, your whole cortex is involved in it, is occupied with the material. But sometimes people say, wow, those people also have it, but their memory is fantastic. They are not attached to it. You can have the whole thing, but you are not attached to it, you are in the same boat. But when you have it and you are attached to it, then you have a problem. And that's why they say, if you have that, then you will know your past life also. You were before. And what was that happening before? And now, where you will go? So, these are the things on the social level. When you sit for meditation, these things will help if you have a background of it. Not hurting anybody, being honest, not stealing on anybody's things, and thinking about the big picture and not holding it. Just simple plain. You have not to go to too much detail of philosophy. Simple rule. And then your behavior with the society will be fantastic, automatically. Anywhere in the world you can go, you will be safe. Check it out. Anywhere you go. 5 principles. Go ahead. That is known as social ethics. Universal laws. Universal laws are always applicable wherever you go. Then there are individual laws, which depends on you. And they are Shauch, Santosh, Tapa, Swadhyay, Ishapranam. Shauch means cleanliness. It's your own. If you live in any place, remain dirty, your choice. But when you go to society, you have to be different. Contentment, same thing. Whether you have it or you don't have it. If you don't have it, you are miserable, your choice. If you don't have it, still you are happy, your choice. Sometimes people think that if they don't have it, they are miserable. No, they compare. If others also don't have it, have you seen the people those get Katrina and all those things? When all are miserable, they are happy also. When some people are miserable and some are not, then they are miserable. They compare. No. Santosh is such a beautiful word. That means balanced satisfaction. You have it, you are comfortable. You don't have it, you are comfortable. It is your own understanding of it. Take this example. If you are not given food, there are two conditions. One, you can say, I am fasting, the feeling is different. I am starving, feeling is different. In both, you are not provided food. In both the conditions, you are deprived of food. One, you volitionally chose. Another, it was imposed upon you. One, you are starving. Another, you are not starving, you are fasting. Is difference or not? So that's why some people, when they don't get food, they are starving. This is my God, I have food, I'm getting hungry. And today also you are feeling the same thing now, so I will leave you in a few minutes. Okay? And then, tapa. Without resistance, you cannot grow. Have you seen the people go to gym? If they don't have a little heavy weight, they cannot build up their muscles. And each time the trainer will give you a little more weight and little more weight, and Greg will feel it. My God, he has given me so much weight, my whole body is aching. What can I do? And if he doesn't give you weight, then muscles do not work. They do not. So that's why tapa. Tapa is the word heat. Can you handle the heat? If you can handle the heat, you are in a good shape. And that's why when they purify gold, they put into fire. If it's pure gold, nothing happens. Only thing will burn which is not gold. So if you are tested in a situation and you come out happy, you are fantastic. Same thing. Everybody has difficulties. Some people say, my problem. And why use the word problem? Say, I have a challenge to meet. The whole concept is changed. Either you say it is a hurdle or it is a stepping stone. How you look at it. So, tapa, swadhyaya is another beautiful word. Study yourself regularly. Swa means self. Adhyaya means chapter. Make yourself a chapter of study. Before you go to sleep, study this chapter. When you get up, look at that chapter and see what is written in it. That's the way you can write your book. Every day. And get up in the morning and read it. Okay? And then Ishwar Pradhan. Ishwar Pradhan is another concept. Being a scientist, Patanjali used the word God. Science does not easily accept that word, but he did. He said that with the help of God also you can achieve the same condition. He gives a lot of methods to achieve. So what is that? He said it is a special type of consciousness. And he spent 9 sutras on it. But how will we know that special consciousness though? What we will do? He said, chant Om. Om became religious, so they said, hum. Who cares? Hum. Humming sound. So they came out bee breathing. In Hatha Yoga, they came out with bee breathing because in Hatha Yoga there were type of people, those were Hindus, Muslims, and this, all this. So they say, all right, to solve this problem, we will say bee breathing. Hum like a bee. If you hum like a bee, which is an eternal sound. Humming is the sound, which is the sound even of the earth. If you don't hear anything, close your eyes here in the night, if birds are asleep, you just wait and you will be surprised, you will hear the sound of hum. Going on. And that sound, if you have it, then what will happen? It has to have a feeling for it. Do you know that we have lost the part of feeling? Either we do things or we think. We don't have a feeling. And once we have a feeling, it is exaggerated. The whole effect is very powerful. That's why I say one side is jnana and the other side is karma. But it can be only propelled by bhakti. Do you understand what I'm trying to convey? If you don't have a passion, you cannot do anything. You will be dull. So have a passion, whether do any activity or any knowledge you collect or go to school or do anything, have a passion for it. And if you have a passion, then you are propelled. So have an idea of it like a plane or a bird. One wing is a knowledge and there is action and it moves if there is a passion. If there is no passion, it does not move. You can have a fantastic knowledge of the world and if you don't move, nothing happens. It does not come into action. So this is an important part. Once you go to Ishwar Pranidhan, let go and let God. Have you heard that word? Let go and let God. If you let go, that type of feeling will come. A special consciousness will dawn upon you. And this special consciousness is so fantastic that you have to understand in the Yoga Sutras that your diseases, your memories, your anxieties, your fears, everything will disappear. That's why Patanjali was very clear. Vyadi, Styan, Sanshaya, Pramad, Alas, your laziness will also go. If you have a lazy streak, some people they cannot get up, they cannot do anything, they always say manana and all this. Chant Om or don't chant Om, do be breathing, 5 minutes at least, and check it out whether your laziness will disappear or not.
Or just do it now.
Your doubts, you are not sure what to do, what not to do, do it. You will be clear. So these things, detail, study the sutras, and particularly when you are hungry, you cannot go inside. And that's why I have to curtail this part. Okay? And if you don't have anything to say, I cannot understand all these things, then he says, sit. S-I-T. Sit. Asana. That's the asana part. If you sit, your respiration rate will go down automatically. That's why Zazen monks, They sit hours and hours. That is their meditation. Zazen. Sit. Just nothing else. Sit. You don't know any philosophy, you don't know this, just sit. If you sit, you stop shitting. Simple. And then automatically your breath will go down, that becomes prana. You start having control on your energy. And when you have control on energy, the light will appear. Tata kshiyate prakasha varanam. You are divine. You are divine. The divinity word indicates light. You are light. But because it is covered, that's why you cannot see. If I cover this black smoke, you cannot see that light. Same thing, you have a light, but because of a lot of things you covered it, you cannot see your light. And when you see your light, nobody has to tell you anything. You have that. So that is that. And then you enter into the field of pratyahar, sense withdrawal, because you have a very much control how you can use your energy. Then you are focused. The part in the focus, attention and meditation is remarkable. In the focus you are tense. In meditation you are relaxed. Look at it. Have you seen that when you are really working, you are fully there, and when you are fully there, there is a part of it is such that you feel relaxed. Meditation. And that's, in the end, it ends up is integration. So, they say Ashtanga Yoga is the key, is a scientific methodology to understand your consciousness and also consciousness of cosmic consciousness. And once you have that, then we are all one. We are children of God. And it is not only talk, it is a feeling behind it. We are one. There is no difference between us. The same water in different bottles. And when you are thirsty, you don't see the bottle, you see the water. When you are in love, you don't see the color. You don't see anything. That process is being one with other. So it is a matter of practice. And you have it, and you have not to go any place. And it's always with you. Wherever you move doesn't matter. Wherever you go, you have it. And this is the whole part of a yoga. You have not to. You have it. You are fantastically loving person. And once in a while, it comes out on certain object. Have you seen that? Even criminals. You call it quote unquote criminals, they love. But the energy goes in such a way in those cases that does not think of the big picture. That's why they are not a part of the society proper. Same energy in one pole, going down or going up. Going up is relaxed. It is for everyone. Going down is individualized. It is the part, going energy down is a reptilian concept. That was there in the beginning. We went to Geisinger and there was a discussion was taking place and they were talking about the reptilian brain and they say it is a has 4 F's. F's. A, B, C, D, E, F. 4 F's. Feeding, because they have to survive. Fighting, because for survival. Or fleeing. And last one you already know. Creation. I don't want to utter that word here in an assembly of very wise people. They call it 4 F's. For reptilian brain requires 4 F's. Then neocortex requires something different. And then limbic brain requires something different. And that's why we have these 3 parts in the brain. And nowadays, a lot of researches are going on in the field. So you have to be aware of it. And once you are aware of this consciousness, which brain plays an important part, but brain is not the only part. Every cell of the body has a consciousness, and they talk to each other. When we say we have a gut feeling, what means? That cells from the gut telling to the brain that this is happening. So remember this, okay? And I think that will be enough for you for today. And if we have any questions later on, we can have it. And sometimes we will meet in silo and do the Om chanting. That's why. And we will have some food first and some relaxation before those who people go, they go. Okay? They can hum on the road. There's no question about it. And those who are here, they can hum in the silo. Okay? Now you eat your prasad, and those who have not eaten it, eat it before. And I will also eat it.